Yeah, good morning, my Teaserking family. How's everybody today? I am back at the lake. Glass cleaners in the car, unfortunately. So just had my breakfast, which was very weak. I mean, the guy buffets the eggs. He leaves them out all like he makes so many and just leaves them out. They get little crust on them. No bacon, toast, and cereal that's in the big bin. So it's like you turn it. How long has that been in there? 5 weeks. He probably won't change it until they're done. Gold 36.34. It's climbing back since it started. It was 36.64 just before 10 o'clock. So of course it went down at 10, but now it's coming back 36.34. Silver was 41.40. It's slipping back, and again I don't know why. The cat's out of the bag. The dollar's worthless. Probably need to let it go, fellas. Um, anyway, so football. Oh my God, it's crazy. I am just red hot, and really, I don't know the teams yet. Right, I'm trying to learn the teams, but you go with what you had last year, who you know, and then you start. Like I picked up quickly on Utah with Dampier, BYU, strong defense, teams like that, and then in the pros, 10-2. My one loser was Detroit over, but I should have uh, understood that because you have the new coordinator is terrible, and not very good. All right, so let's go into football. Let's go through pros, and then we'll go through college. I think we went through college Sunday. We just didn't do class yesterday because I was driving. Let's see, 36-37. All right, so we are moving. I expect 4,000 by the end of October at the most at the outset. Probably before then, it's just moving. There's nothing to stop it. It just keeps going because they have to cover the shorts. So a lot of it's the U.S. buying to cover the shorts, and then really nobody selling to to knock it down. So really, it's just all buying now. All right, let's go into football now. I've updated my teams, but in the pros, it's not good. College, we'll get to college. I have updated the Z teams and the A teams fairly good. There's still some I will change as we go, but right now that's what we have. All right, so let's take a look at week one. We had Philly 24-20. We had Philly -1. Dallas, let's go. Micah Parsons. Green Bay loved it, and I think this is where the coaches should all get fired. They don't play their team in the preseason, and then week one's a preseason game. Only it's not. It counts as one of your games. If Minnesota would have won their earlier games last year, they would have been the 1 seed, or Philly or Washington. Had they played better in the preseason, they would have in the first few games. Cincinnati started 0-3. They missed the playoff game. Cincinnati needs a new coach. It's very obvious. You got that talent. Hendrickson's playing, so there's no excuse there. All right. So we have Philly and we win. KC, San Diego, in Mexico. The spread was 3, so I didn't like it. I would have taken KC in 4 and lost. And here's sometimes where the spread saves you. So instead, I go under. San Diego's a good under team. So is Kansas City. Now, I don't think they have 18, 19 defenses this year. But what do we got is under 46. So we went under 52, and it was 48, 27, 21. And even had Casey scored a touchdown first and then tried to kick the field goal to win the game. If they had scored and not kicked the field goal and lost 27-24, we still would have won because we're 52, and that would have made it 51. I got lucky on 3 or 4 games. The Bear game last night, I had under 52, and it ended up 51, I think. I don't know. Both these quarterbacks suck. I don't care. Whatchamacallit. Caleb is terrible. I mean, he starts off 10-0, and none of his passes were more than 5 yards. Then he goes like 0 for 10, trying to throw the ball. He's not even close. That one ball at the end, he had an easy touchdown. He throws it out of bounds over the guy's head. Oh, so he's a superstar because we never saw Tom Brady miss a pass like that. Oh, but it's his second year. Yeah, but he played for Lincoln Riley for 2 years or 3 years. I think he played for him at Oklahoma. And on the lake, what do I got? A boat going by. Oh, they're fucking mowing the lawn. Can you believe this? Guys got to mow the lawn in the middle of class. Jesus Christ. So, God, what is this thing? There's something on the chair that pinches me. That's what it is. It's a pin on the bottom of the chair. Motherfucker. No wonder I'm like hurting. If you stick your finger in, it's a pin. So, all right. Sorry about that. So, again, Caleb looked terrible. You've got a real lot of fake stuff going on. Daniel Jones runs for 2 touchdowns. Caleb runs for a touchdown. J.J. McCarthy runs for a touchdown. You have, let's see, Daniel Jones ran. Fields ran for a couple of touchdowns. So it looks like they're doing good. They got 32 points, but he's running. He did nothing throwing. They're terrible throwers, but they're running. And this shows you how stupid the defensive coordinators are. They're playing zone defenses, but first of all, you blitz them. You attack these quarterbacks because they're not able to throw and read coverage. So you attack them. And when you attack them, they can't run. But when you play this soft zone, then they sit there and they play the zone, and they play the zone, and it does. Then everybody backs up, and then the quarterback can run. It's the stupidest defense I've ever seen. I swear the coaching is so bad in the league. What's with kickoffs? Oh, there was a offsides because the guy at the 40 or the 35 where they line up left early. What is that? I mean, it's so he kicked the ball. As soon as he kicks the ball, the guy should be able to leave. Stupid rules. Why you get rid of the kickoff in the first place? Oh, the ball went in the end zone on the fly. You get the ball to 35. Why do you reward these teams? What the fuck are you doing? This is I don't even know what sport this is. Between the tush push and these kickoffs that are just insane to allow this type of kick. Oh, it's for player safety. My ass. That's like defense. Well, we're having a war for national security purposes. That's the big term, national security. Well, if it's national security, then Trump can do what he wants. And so you get a lot of that bullshit, and I don't buy any of that. So I just this is why KC doesn't play this stupid zone. They blitz the quarterback, as does Baltimore usually. Buffalo, I don't know. The better teams, Philly will blitz you the shit out of you like they did Mahomes. So you won't see these running quarterbacks do anything against Philly, but you do see them against these shit teams. And that's why these teams never win. Minnesota and Detroit, and I mean, look what Green Bay did. Micah Parsons and the other guys were attacking and blitzing the guy. I mean, that's a big difference. Anyway, so San Diego wins 27-21. They look good. Are they that good? I don't know. Anytime you beat KC, that's good. 27-21. San Diego is now 16-3 in the teaser, so that's where the teaser trends are still going. San Diego is a pretty live team right now. KC, they got trouble. They got Philadelphia at home week 2, or they're 2-0. They're 0-2, and this is why I like Denver to win that division. Is Denver? KC's got the tough schedule. And Denver's better than KC. I don't like these guys who are like, oh, Denver's no good. Bo Nix is no good. Sean Payton apparently is no good either. They got a killer defense. Now, they had 3 interceptions and a fumble in the game, and they still won 20-12. I was wondering why it was 12-10 and 13-12 so long. And it was just turnovers, but it was week 1. And again, the coach needs to play these players in the preseason. You need to get ready for week 1. You don't throw away week 1 like, oh, this is so now we can get injured because it's week 1, but we can't get injured in the preseason. I don't know. There's a lot of injuries on the Bears yesterday. Jacksonville 26-10 over Carolina. It just shows you how bad Carolina is. Terrible defense, as it showed. And Steve Young's just pathetic. Oh, but he's getting better. Yeah, sure he is. Who did they play when he got better? Teams that already had clinched, or just other shit teams. Giants, Washington. Washington 21-6. Wilson against Daniels. Now Washington is 18-3 in the teaser. Again, that comes through. I put now, so I had Philly, then I have the KC San Diego under 52, so I win both of those. I didn't play Jacksonville. Okay, now here was where I really wasn't intending to lock it. I guess I just looked at Russell Wilson, and the line was 45, so it was just 39. I'm shocked the Giants only scored 6, but that goes back to preseason. Why isn't Russell Wilson and Malik Neighbors and Scatterby, why aren't they playing? And then you wonder why you get 6. Well, Russell Wilson's new to the team. Of course, that's why he needs to play in the preseason, all 3 games. Or you're going to get the result you get here, 21-6. Now, they'll be a little bit better in week 2. So now what you read is Washington's defense really this good to stop Russell Wilson and Scatterby? But Scatterby didn't run him. This coach is terrible. He's running the other guy, and the guy got 20 yards. We know Daniels. Now, they held Daniels to 21, which was surprising. But, I would have – they played this game 10 times. It goes over 39, 9 of them. So you get 21-6, again, week 1. So this was one of my 2 losers. Pitt minus 2.5. Rodgers against Fields. Pitt wins 34-32. I have Pitt. So now I'm 3-1. Pitt wins on a big field goal, but even without it, I had 3.5 points. So I'm winning if the guy makes the field goal or not, which is why you got over 3. Surprised the Jets scored 32. A lot of it was Fields running, not throwing. Again, Pitt not pressuring him into the turnovers and playing the zone, which backs up, which allows him to run. It's just the stupidest defense in the world. I don't know if any of these guys are qualified. It's like politicians. The government isn't qualified to run, and this guy's not qualified, and these defensive coordinators are not qualified to be defensive coordinators. I think it's a joke. Arizona, New Orleans. Arizona wins 20-13. Rattler stinks. Murray, I'm beginning to wonder about Murray. New Orleans showed a defense. I stayed away from this game because I had no idea. Arizona minus 6.5. So they win by 7. No play. That's when you stay away from them. What do I hear on BetMGM and these radios is these type of games are all these are not the games you bet on. You bet on Oakland, New England here. I got Oakland as a live dog getting 9. And Oakland wins 20-13. Drake May stinks, as we know. So 20-13, Smith against May. Smith lit him up, and Brock Bowers, I guess, got hurt the first half. Gentry scored a couple of touchdowns, or at least one touchdown. He looked good. So once you get balance, you got Bowers and Gentry and Geno, and you got Coach Pete, and then you got the offensive coordinator. Once you got all that clicking, then you're going to score. You're a very live dog. So I hit Oakland as the dog, 20-13. They win the game straight out. Miami at Indy, I don't play. Miami was -1, then Indy was -1. Indy wins 33-8. Daniel Jones sucks, but he ran in 2 touchdowns. Again, Miami not pressuring him. Tagovailoa is just terrible. To only get 8 points on Indiana, they don't have a defense. So I think Miami could be our Z team, our worst Z team. Carolina's our other Z team. We'll go through all that in a minute. So Indy, 33-8, they'll never win by this again, but that shows you how bad Miami is. I'm sure their players have already given up. Tyreek Hill probably could care less. Tagovailoa is probably injured again, and who knows. Our first lock, Cincinnati, even against Cleveland. I kept saying they want to get off to a good start. I was shocked they won 17-16, and that was the third quarter score. Nobody scored in the fourth. Burrow was under heavy pressure all game. Again, I think this first of all, they didn't run Tajay Brooks, the kid from Texas Tech. Why not? And you got Burrow and you got Chase and T. Higgins. You only get 17 points on what I assume is a weak Cleveland defense. Flacco didn't do much. I know some people bet it over, as you can see why, but as I showed you, Hendrickson did play, and Burrow, so they're full strength. So 17-16, very surprising score, but I knew Cincy would win, and they won. That's all I care about. I don't care if they win 17. I was getting a half a point or even. It's a winner. It's the same as winning by 50. So that's lock number 1 hits. Tampa Bay, Atlanta. I have Atlanta as a home dog with Penix. They're winning 20-16 late in the game, and the Baker was a touchdown. So we were really never in jeopardy there. Tampa wins 23-20. We're getting 8.5. Another winner, the 49ers, Seattle. I liked the 49ers, but then with McCaffrey, who knows? I stayed away from it. They did win 17-13. Purdy over Darnold. Darnold, he's terrible. Tennessee, Denver, lock number 2, Denver -1. Denver wins 20-12. Denver had a lot of turnovers, which, Bo Nix, was it all his fault? No. One hit the guy in the hands, it pops up. One was his fault. Cam Ward looked like shit. So 20-12. Denver's defense took over. I think he got sacked 6 times. There were 6 sacks for Denver on Cam Ward. He can't read. He can't get rid of the ball. That's the problem with these running. The new quarterbacks that are runner, none of them are capable of reading a defense. Very few. Penix can, and so can Daniels. But these other guys can't read it. So lock number 2's in. Cincinnati, lock number 1. Denver, lock number 2. Kansas was a lock in college. That's 3. And Houston, LA, we play the game under. Houston with a strong defense, no quarterback. The Rams, as strong as their offense is, we know they're going up against a shitload strong defense. So 14-9. Stroud doesn't show up, and Stafford does, gets the touchdowns, and Stroud nowhere to be seen. LA's got a really good defense too. So when you got two really good defenses, you play it. Same as when you got 2 really good offenses, Baltimore, Buffalo, which was lock number 3. You don't fuck with it. You just play the over, play the under. Detroit, Green Bay, my only other loser. I have it over 41, and they score 40. Green Bay 27, Detroit 13. Detroit looked like shit. No preseason. New offensive coordinator doesn't know what he's doing. A new defensive coordinator doesn't know what he's doing. Oh, well, it's just week one. Well, it shouldn't be. If you played in preseason, they would know what to do, but you're not. Their line didn't know where they were going. Their defense, oh, but they got the great safeties and the great corners. Looked like shit. Hutchinson didn't do shit. You could see him limping around with his legs. Shouldn't have been out there. Okay, but he is. But he's not effective. Didn't have one sack. Didn't have anything close. Didn't have a tackle. You didn't even know he was in the game. I had to wait like 10 minutes going, is he out there? And I'd see him, and he's kind of limping around, not ready to play. For a team that's worried about injuries, and you got your best defensive player, and you're risking injury with the guy who can't. He can barely run out there. His best play was roughing the quarterback on an interception. All right, so Detroit, I kind of had a hunch there when Micah Parsons was playing, but then I didn't know at the back, and then I don't know. He's playing. He doesn't have a back injury. If he does, he'll shoot up. He looks fine, ready to go. Happy he's in Green Bay. And I'll tell you, Aaron Rodgers is happy he's in Pittsburgh, where they got 7 Lombardis also. That's important to them. Parsons going to Green Bay, had he went to some other city, New Orleans, he wouldn't care. But going to Green Bay was a big boost, and they have a good defense and everything. They just shut down. Detroit was so obvious. Let's run to the left on first down, and Green Bay was beating them to it. The Detroit line, you can't replace the All-American Ragnow and the 2 guards, and it looked like it. And Micah Parsons just lined up over that guy Sewell and just made him eat his lunch. Well, you never let up a sack. Bullshit. You just when he does give up a sack, you just don't count it. So we'll keep an eye on this. Detroit. Well, we did the same thing last year. Okay, we don't have the same team last year. We don't have the same coordinators last year. This new one, he tried one reverse that blew up in the backfield. Golf sacked 4 times. You don't have the same line. I'm sorry. I don't know if they're going to even win 8 games, the Lions. They'll be lucky to go 8-9. I don't even know if they can. Not with this schedule. And, they couldn't hit. None of the receivers could get open. See, because it was all trick plays. It was all play action pass here and play action pass there. But without the line, you lost 3 guys, and you can't run. Your play action doesn't work. Golf's in big fucking trouble because he has to do play. He can't go back and stand on the spot, and then they're going to get him off the spot all the time, and then he can't run and he can't throw really. So we saw the real golf yesterday, 27-13. We did lose the over by a point. Baltimore, Buffalo, lock number 3. We locked it over. It was 50, so we were 44-45. It was over in the third quarter, 41-40 Buffalo. Sure, when we need all the touchdowns late in the game, we don't get them. But here, they scored again. Why? We don't like Lamar chokes. He doesn't read the defense, so whatever play's called, he calls, even if he's running into 8 guys. That fumble by whatchamacallit, Henry. That fumble by Henry was totally Lamar. You're running him into 5 guys. What do you think's going to happen? So he had nowhere to go. That play never should have been run. Where was the Lamar run around the ends? Fake it to Henry and run the other way. He can juke guys out, but all the guys are stuffed in the middle. Why didn't he run around the end? Because he can't read that. He doesn't know what he's doing. Great athlete, terrible quarterback. Yeah, and they had that one guy made a good catch. No question, the one hand. I don't know why the announcers are so enthralled by the one-handed catch, like they've never seen one-handed catches. Now they're doing it every game, and the announcers, "Oh my God, can you believe that?" Yeah, we see it. It's not hard. If you play baseball, you catch everything one-handed. Like Jesus Christ, these guys. So Buffalo wins 41-40. That's why I do not think you have revenge games here. You have a revenge game, um, maybe Detroit, Minnesota, because we knocked them out of the 1 seed. Not Detroit, Washington. That won't be revenge. Washington, Philly won't be a revenge. Philly, KC is not a revenge, even though it took them out of the Super Bowl. KC will play better this week, but it's not a revenge game. Technically, it is, but it's not. You don't revenge Alabama and Georgia, and you don't revenge LSU, Alabama. There is no such thing. You're just too strong. Michigan, Ohio State. Well, we've tried 4 years in a row to get revenge, and all we did was got pissed on. So there's no revenge there. It's not happening. So you've got to forget that angle. Yesterday's game, Minnesota, Chicago, were under 52-51. And I played them in two different teams, 151, 152. I couldn't believe what I was watching. All of a sudden, McCarthy looks like shit. I go, oh, this is a winner, 17-6. They make it 17-13, and then 20, and then 27 is 44. Fortunately, and then they just let Caleb walk down the field. Boom, boom, boom. And they score. And then the Bears should have kicked the ball out of bounds, not into the end zone. If the guy can't make it through the end zone, the kick needed to go out of bounds. Ben Johnson, coaching with his head up his ass, that allowed the clock to go under 2 minutes. And that allowed Minnesota to take the time all the way down to 10 seconds. And then the old let's lateral it, because that play always works, didn't do shit. As the time ran out, Caleb looked like shit. Again, he completed his first 10 passes. 9 of them were for 5 yards. I don't consider that a great quarterback to throw little 5-yard passes. Oh, look, Caleb's 10 for 10. Yeah, and then it showed. And after that, Caleb is he's 2 for 15 after the 10 for 10 for a whopping 10 yards. The Bears no running. They won't be able to be the same as the Lions. They don't have the running. They can't then do the play action rollout because they can't run. Minnesota is an excellent defense. They let Caleb run way too much. They scored on the first drive 7 points, and then they got a pick 6. There goes McCarthy. So I'm not sold on either. I know Caleb sucks. McCarthy, I don't know. He had a big fourth quarter, but most of the Bears were injured by then. They already had 3 cornerbacks out and a linebacker out. So again, he's playing third stringers. So we will get a better look of him. We're not sold on him yet, but at least he can complete some passes. He didn't do that at Michigan. He looked like Michigan in the first 3 quarters, little 2-yard passes. And then he wants to run. Well, first guy that nails him and knocks his knee out, that'll be the end of him. So Minnesota 27-24. We barely get the under, what shouldn't have been close. Both the junk quarterbacks, mostly run touchdowns, not pass. That'll be cleaned up. Again, all you have to do is blitz. You blitz 6 guys, they're not running. Caleb is he's shady. Like he's hard to. They had him dead to rights, and he'd make a move and a spin. Okay, fine. That's his best attribute is faking people out when he runs, not throwing, and that it's the fake. So that's what we got. We go 10-2. So we hit the under there. The locks: Baltimore over Denver and Cincinnati. A strong play was Washington and the Giants. I actually put him as a lock, but really didn't think I did. I thought I had 4 locks, Kansas, and then since I knew Cincinnati and Denver were locks, and Baltimore over was an easy lock. But that's the difference. Lamar and Allen, I got an over. With the Lions, again, Goff doesn't show up as he so eloquently doesn't do. All right, well, let's stay with pros. Let's go to week 2. So now, can we grade the teams? Kind of. Let's walk through it. So Green Bay, Washington, my line, I'll give you my line and then the teaser line. Green Bay -3. The line's Green Bay 3.5, 48.5. What do we expect? Is Washington's defense all that, shutting out the Giants, or is it better? Green Bay with Micah Parsons, we got to get a good grip. They held a weak Detroit team with 3 new offensive linemen and a new offensive coordinator. So what really happened there? Did Green Bay's defense, is it a 13, which is really a 6 because they scored late on a pass that the guy was out of bounds on? Or are they more of a 30? Again, last year, Green Bay was a 20. I would say they'll be a 17, 18 defense. Can Washington move on them? Hell yes. Washington moved on Philly. Not sure what to do with this game. Got to check injuries. This is the Thursday game. Wait, I thought they have a kickoff that's so screwed up because of injuries. Why are you playing a game Thursday after Sunday? Oh, don't we care about injuries anymore? No. We want TV ratings. We want money. It's the strangest league I've ever seen. They're killing themselves. It's very hard to watch. I was watching it. I got so bored. I turned on a movie after halftime and then came back. In the fourth quarter, I thought it would be like 2 minutes left. And it was, and the game was 9 minutes left. I said, Jesus Christ, I had to sweat through all those touchdowns. All right. So that's the Thursday game. It's very tough, especially to travel. You're not really ready. How are you going to get ready for Micah Parsons in 2 days? So it's a very different thing. Green Bay probably will win the North. Let's see McCarthy. Let's see how he plays Micah Parsons. He'll struggle in that. He'll be lucky to score. So I think Green Bay wins the division. Then it looks like Minnesota, Detroit, and the Bears. And Detroit, if you think they're 15-2 this year, they're going to be 0-2 after next week. They got Philly, KC, Baltimore. I mean, I don't know that they can win. I don't know that they can beat the Bears, to tell you the truth. Their defense is so weak. I'm telling you, Hutchinson didn't do shit because he was worried about his leg, and he didn't really make any penetrations, no sacks, no tackles. They had a field day. Cleveland, Baltimore -12.44. Again, why we don't like Lamar. Lamar with a 15-point lead gives the ball to Henry into 5 guys instead of going around the corner. Then he throws on 3rd and 8. He throws a 5-yard pass. He gets nervous in the pocket. He doesn't run. Why didn't he run? Oh, he's the greatest runner ever to play the game, they say. But no, and then it's short, and they punt the ball away. And then I'm hearing, well, why didn't they go for it? Because you can't go for it. If you go for it and you don't make it, they automatically get the field goal to win. So you've got to punt the ball. That's just strategy. Oh, we're capable of getting 3 yards. Bullshit. You're not capable of getting 3 yards when they know you have to go like that. Why didn't you run Lamar? Because obviously he didn't do shit the whole game. So here we got Baltimore. I got -7, -12. Cleveland played Cincinnati to the wire. They pressured Burrow a lot. They didn't score a lot, but I think Cincinnati's defense with Hendrickson was not too bad. Look for Burrow now. I'm surprised I'm shocked Cincinnati only got 17 points. They did nothing in the second half. So let's see what happens with that. But I don't know how Baltimore is a 12-point favorite in this game. That's ridiculous. Total of 44. Um, I don't know. What do you rank Baltimore? An over team? Or how can they be an A team? They gave up 41 points. So I think they're an over. Cleveland is an under. They didn't score much, but they held Burrow to 17. This is where I'm not sure yet. We'll get a better read on Cleveland. This after playing Cincinnati and Baltimore, they keep Baltimore under 20. Now they're an under team, and you'll see them not give up a lot. Sort of like South Florida. We didn't know. Then they beat Boise. Then they go ahead and beat Florida, at Florida, which is impossible. In each game, they didn't give up 17. They gave up 7 to Boise and like 15 to Florida. Now they get Miami. They hold Miami to 17. Fuck, I'll lay 30 with South Florida. They got a pretty good offense, but obviously their defense is incredible. The biggest problem I'm seeing for us is these coordinators switch around. So now the Bears have a new defensive coordinator. I don't know who their offensive coordinator is. And all these teams, the Lions changed both quarterbacks. Philly changed their quarterbacks. The only one that doesn't is Kansas City. That's why they always win. Andy Reid's their offensive coordinator, and Spagnuolo's their defense. And you know what you get every time with them. And Mahomes knows how to win the games. He knows how to put you away. He would never, ever handed the ball off to the running back Pacheco into 5 guys. What Mahomes would have done against Buffalo when the lead was down to 7 or 8, no, it was down to 8, and then Henry fumbled, he would have hit Kelsey on a little 10-yard pass, very safe, very secure, very accurate. Or if he needed to, he would have ran out of the pocket and got the 10 yards. Lamar is not anywhere near that level. And that's why he should be a wide receiver. That's the point of Lamar, not how talented he is. He doesn't win you the games because he's an idiot. And then the comment he made yesterday was, oh, well, I guess you got to play 60 minutes. We thought the game was over. You thought the game was over when you had a 15-point lead with 5 minutes left against Josh Allen. You thought the game was over. That explains a lot, right? So I don't know. Baltimore minus 12 is fucking crazy. 44 total. I have no idea. I'm not sure Cleveland's going to do a lot offensively, but I would say if they held Burrow, they're going to hold Lamar. I don't know, Lamar, after a loss at home last year, they blew the 10-point lead and lost the game to Cleveland in the same situation. They were 10, 12-point favorites. So here's where I don't trust Lamar. I don't trust him at all to win the game, to cover the points. There's no way I trust him to cover because they got to play 60 minutes. He's only going to play 50 minutes. All right, Cincinnati, Pitt 340. What do you do with this one? Seattle, Darnold's nothing. Pitt, Aaron Rodgers looked very sharp. I like how he said, oh, I guess people in the Jets thought I was done. He threw 4 touchdowns. I knew he wasn't done. You could see he started playing well the second half for the JETSs. It was a high-scoring game, so Jets have no defense. Pitt, I don't know. Pitt 3-40. Again, this is where you struggle is the first 2 weeks of pros because they're not smart enough to play preseason. So this is like preseason week 1. This is preseason week 2. Now we'll see how many hamstrings and calves and leg injuries did you get on Sunday because you don't want to get anybody hurt. Oh, and by the way, we'll play a Thursday night game after the Sunday game, and we'll hurt everybody on Washington and Green Bay. It's just insane that the league. So we'll see. Pitt. I don't love Seattle as a dog with Darnold traveling from the West Coast to the East Coast. I don't know. This is. I got to think about this. It could be an over with the way Aaron Rodgers is throwing. He'll get you 30 points in this game. I don't know. It's a low total, that's for sure. Buffalo 645 to the JETSs. Buffalo got the win, so will they be flat against the Jets? No way. It's a division game. Now you've got the new coach. You've got Fields. Fields, who ran in 2 touchdowns, so it's not. I'm wondering, how did they score all that? Fields only threw for 1 touchdown, a couple picks. He didn't do nothing. He did run for a few. So again, it's strictly blitzing Fields, and you got Joey Bosa now over there. They got rid of whatchamacallit for Joey Bosa, the guy from Denver. Um, I, I'd be shocked if Buffalo loses this game. They're 6-45. Are the Jets actually going to score? Well, it's up to Fields running for touchdowns, not throwing. And again, you just blitz him and he won't run for touchdowns. So this is very difficult. San Francisco 7-43 over New Orleans. Frisco's got injuries. What's going on with McCaffrey? What's going on with Kittle? He got hurt. Jennings got hurt. I don't know how serious. New Orleans, Rattler's terrible, as we know. What was that score? They lost. They got 13 on Arizona. Jesus. The Niners, yeah, this could be, I don't know. If McCaffrey plays, I can't imagine the Niners losing. I can't imagine that Rattler's actually a quarterback in the NFL. Just like I don't understand Caleb or McCartney. Miami, 1.5, 44 to New England. Miami is the Z team. They're the worst team in the league. How can they be favored here? Now, I know Drake May's terrible. The Raiders lit him up. See, the Raiders got the talent. They got Brock Bowers, and now they got Gentry. They got a runner and a tight end, Geno Smith and Coach Pete, and our offensive coordinator, who I can only remember half the time, Chip Kelly. And look out. I mean, that's basically what you have. So, the Raiders killed New England. Miami, they didn't even show up against – who the fuck did they play? They didn't show up against Indianapolis. I mean, it was 33-8 to Indy. And again, Daniel Jones ran for 2 touchdowns. So you're getting a lot of false reads here. You can't rely on the quarterbacks to run for the 2 touchdowns a game, Fields and Caleb and McCarthy and all these guys. So is New England a live dog? Can we trust? We can't trust Drake May. Maybe. Can we trust the defense? I don't know. They did hold Oakland to 20, so maybe we can. I just can't see Miami winning a game, and I can't see them favored. So again, weak favorite here. The Rams 6-41 to Tennessee. I mean, the Rams are just very strong. Good defense. Good Puka-Nuka, Devontae Adams. Good running back. Good defense. Cam Ward got sacked 6 times by Denver. Produced all of 13 points. I don't see them doing anything against the Rams. Stafford, I can't imagine. This is like the Denver game. I can't imagine Denver losing to Tennessee, and I can't imagine the Rams losing. They have to win the game. So I like the Rams in this one. Detroit, Chicago. Detroit somehow a 6-point favorite, 47. With that offense. Now, Chicago's got a lot of injuries to their defense. So that'll help Detroit, possibly. Although the Bears have a good defense, but they lost 3 or 4 cornerbacks in the game or before the game started. Goff cannot run like McCarthy ran. So Detroit, after a loss, big deal. They're at home. Okay. They don't have. They're missing the offensive coordinator. They're missing their offense. They played Green Bay, Micah Parsons. So does the Bears have defense to put pressure on Goff? That's the key to the game. We got to check injuries here. But the Bears, off of a loss, you've got the old offensive coordinator coming back, Bob Johnson. He knows the offense. That should help him. He's got his own problems. He's got Caleb, who sucks. Detroit, no defense really. They held them to 27. Love, Golf and Love are about the same. They're both average, I'd say. I don't know why everybody thinks Golf. See, you saw Golf last week. He couldn't do shit. So that's really the problem. He's going to be pressured, and he can't. And there's no running. So Green Bay knew the running plays. Like I said, they run left. So Green Bay, when they ran left, jumped them and got on the defensive side of the ball and tackled them for losses half the game. Therefore, the play action pass couldn't work. Well, if you can do that, and the Bears can do that, I don't know what kind of effort the Bears will have here. Pretty weak coach, pretty weak defense to let McCarthy run on you, 21 points. I think they got tired because they didn't play in the preseason. Another coach getting them ready. You're supposed to get your team ready for the first week, not use the first week as preseason. So again, I don't know. This is a whole different Detroit team. Their offense is concerning. Their defense is even worse. You got Caleb, who just sucks. So you can't really bet Caleb here. I don't know what you do here. The Giants in Dallas 644. I'm not sure how Dallas can be favored over anybody. We know Dak's terrible. They played Philly a decent game. Now you don't have Micah Parsons, and seems like they got a lot of plays to CeeDee Lamb. The Giants, he's got a name, Russell Wilson, the starter for week 2. Don't blame that on Russell Wilson. Blame that on the coach not playing him in the preseason. But you can't go to Jackson Dart and think he's going to light it up. Oh, he'll get his 2 running touchdowns, but he won't do anything. I don't know. I don't know how the Giants are. This is a learn game here because is Washington's defense that good, or are the Giants, Russell Wilson, that bad? I don't know. Maybe I'll watch the replay of that game. I thought I did, but right now we're not sure of the Giants with the new players. Hey, you got the new quarterback and Scatterboo. It always takes time, and so you, like McCarthy, that shit the first 3 quarters and then had a big 4th quarter. I think the Bears got tired. So you really don't know what you have, and it always takes a few games to learn it. That's why you have preseason. All right, Cincinnati 3.5, 49 over Jacksonville. Did I miss something? Is Jacksonville got good? Oh, they beat Carolina, the worst team in the league, and so now they're only 3.5 over Cincy. I really like Cincy in this game. Let's make this our free play. Okay, Cincinnati. Free play, provided there's no injuries, which I'll have to check tomorrow. Burrow against Trevor Lawrence. Etienne ran for 140 yards because they know Lawrence sucks. Travis Hunter did nothing. I don't know. Did he play? I think he played offense most of the game. Again, they played Carolina, the worst team in the league. So Cincy, again, doesn't want to lose. They get an opening with Baltimore losing. They got an opening beating Cleveland, so it's them in Pittsburgh. So they're going to be focused here. Carolina, Arizona. Arizona minus 744. You got to go with Arizona here. Carolina's terrible, and you only got to lay 1. I don't see how I can take Carolina there. Do we go over or under? You can't with Bryce Young. You just bet against him because you don't know what he's going to do. Denver, 2.5, 42. I am confused as shit on this game. My line, Denver minus 7. It's Indy. They stink. Daniel Jones stinks. The fact he beat a Miami team that laid down, you cannot all of a sudden go and say, oh, well, he'll obviously beat Denver at home. Out of your mind with that defense. It's a slight difference in defense and a slight difference in quarterback with Bo Nix. and he had a bad day, which is fine. He did the same thing last week one, and then he starts moving. So look for him to get rid of that shit. He's very accurate, and Indy's defense isn't going to stop him, and Denver's defense is the key to the game here. Philadelphia, Kansas City. I got Philly minus 1.5, 46. He said, KC off a loss as a live home dog. Oof. Revenge? Maybe revenge. But Philly's going to be fired up too. The revenge game is like when old Mississippi State beat Alabama, then the next year, old Mississippi State couldn't do anything, right? Or Michigan, Ohio State. Apparently, Ohio State can't beat Michigan after 4 losses in a row. But in this game, you know KC's got the defense. They showed it in the Super Bowl. Mahomes does not lose at home as a dog. It's the Tom Brady rules. I don't know. I just see this. Yeah, sure, Philly can win, but we got to bet the game before it plays, not after. KC and 7.5, very intriguing. Total of 46, very intriguing. That's a kind of a high number for this game. KC's not the over team they are when they had Tyreek Hill. They haven't been an over team for a while. Their defense is like a 17-18. San Diego, shot got 27 on them, but Hurts isn't not as good as Herbert throwing the ball. He can run. Barkley, I don't know what he did. It's just the thesis here is KC's a home dog. I don't care if God himself is playing. You can't make him a home dog. I have KC minus 3. I'm shocked by this spread. Minnesota, 4.5, 45 to Atlanta. I mean, I like Penix as the dog here. Total of 45, probably an over of 39. If they're giving up 24 points to Caleb, where's the defense here? If they're going to run around, Penix can run a whole lot better than J.J. McCarthy. So I think Atlanta's a live dog here, or the over's a live dog here. Houston, 2.5, 42 to Tampa Bay. This is Monday night. Houston's a weak favorite. Great defense, no offense. Tampa, a great defense. Total of 42. You got that. And I'd say Tampa's a very live dog in this game. I'd say Houston's a weak favorite. Not as weak as Arizona or Dallas or Detroit, but they're a pretty weak favorite. And our last game, San Diego, 4 and 46 to Oakland, at Oakland. I think Oakland's a live dog in almost every game they play. Denver, Kansas City. You got Chip Kelly, you got Brock Bowers, and you got Gentry. You got the two best players at their position in 20 years, Brock Bowers and Gentry. The only get better than Gentry maybe is Shaquille Barkley, and there ain't no better tight end than Brock Bowers. He makes Kelsey look like a high school player. He did get hurt, but I think he's okay in the first game, the New England game. The Z teams. Z team, based on what I saw week 1, is New Orleans, Miami, Tennessee, Carolina. Indy's going to be a Z team. They're just not there yet. And that's it. So you've got the same old suspects as the Z teams. The A teams, Green Bay, Washington's not far behind if they are. Cleveland is strong defense. Baltimore, I just shake my head. Not only do I shake my head at the coach and Lamar, I shake my head at the defense. They were nowhere to be seen. You knew what Josh Allen was doing. No pressure on Josh Allen. it just it's hard to figure Baltimore out. They've got this great defense, only they don't have this great. Only they give up 41 points. It's not a great defense. They don't pressure Josh Allen. Never got pressured. They fumble when they need to run the clock out. They throw interceptions when they need to run the clock out. I don't mind the punt. I would have punted too. That had nothing to do with it. Hey, Real D, you missed my 4 locks, huh? 4-0 on my 4 locks, my friend. I thought you wanted them. I don't understand Baltimore. I think it's the coach. I think he sucks. Everybody loves Harbaugh. I think he sucks. I think the other Harbaugh sucks. I really do. I think they're running Bo Schembechler 1974. Let's run the ball and play defense, only it doesn't work right now, or it doesn't work with the player personnel that they have. So I don't know Baltimore. I can't trust them with lane 12. Who are they going to beat lane 12? Because they'll let them in the back door in the fourth quarter. They'll run Lamar, and he won't get it, and they'll punt, and then they give up a touchdown because they don't know how to play defense. With all the defensive talent they have, they don't know how to play they don't know how to play strategic. They don't know how to play with the lead. They don't know how to put a game away. Well, we saw it twice. They were playing Oakland and Cleveland with 10-point leads in the fourth quarter and blew both games. They don't know how to put a team away. Lamar is just too stupid. He doesn't know how to read a defense. Okay, we're going to run to Henry. That's the play. That's what he calls, because he can't read what the play should be. Oh, wait, if I fake it to him and I run around the right side, I can run for 50 yards. He can't see that. He can't read defense. And he makes some very lucky plays. The guy makes these incredible catches for him, the one-hand catch, and he looks good. But at the end of the game, they lose. How can you bet on them? Pitt, good hands with Aaron Rodgers. They could be an A team. I was surprised. They gave up points, but it was the Fields. That's the defensive coordinator not putting pressure on the Fields or Caleb or McCarthy. The defense, you got to blitz them. Now, Minnesota was blitzing a lot last night, so I was a little surprised. Buffalo, they're clearly an A team. The Jets, are they going to be an over team with Fields? Is he going to do what he did at the Bears? They were an over team there. He'd run, and he'd get you 20, 21 points, and they'd lose by 10 because they can't play, but he'd run around and score, and that's what – just blitz him. It's not hard, fellas. Just blitz the guy. The Niners, maybe they're an A team, not yet. We got to see McCaffrey, get him in, and Jennings and Ayuk and all these guys. So they're still injured. New Orleans, terrible. They're a Z team. Miami is Z team. Anytime a Z team's favored over a non-Z team, you just bet the non-Z team. So you got New England in 7.5. I'm not saying New England's going to win, but Miami can't beat anybody. The Rams, they're an A team, laying the 6. I think they'll win the West. Tennessee, probably a Z team. I don't know. See, I thought their defense was playing well, but then I saw the 4 turnovers by Denver, and I go, aha. And Denver still wins 20-12, which nobody's counting. They do that once a year. They do that where they don't score, and then they put up 21 points in the fourth quarter and win going away. And you're kind of going, yeah, that's what I thought Denver was. They have a hard time doing it. So Bo Nix needs some help reading, I think, but he's a winner, and that's why we bet on Denver. So Tennessee, Cam Ward, 6 sacks. I mean, he's going to be LA's going to sack him 6 more times. This is regular season, and this is not Miami playing Syracuse. This is real. This is LA, Tennessee, and he's not going to have a chance against this LA defense. Detroit, Chicago, you got Caleb, who just sucks. Ben Johnson looked like nothing yesterday. Couldn't stop Minnesota. Didn't know what to do. Had no offense. They got the late touchdown. Was just a Joe. It was a fire drill. Caleb's just running back and throwing, and Minnesota had a big lead, so they didn't care. And so when the game was on the line, Caleb did a lot of shit passes. So I'm not buying Caleb. Detroit, I'm not buying golf. He's not very good, as you saw there. And really, it should have been 6 points. Or there's yeah, they got lucky. They got 2 field goals. Was it? They got lucky at the end. The guy was out of bounds. They gave him a touchdown. I don't know. But Detroit's not a team that's going to walk out and just beat you and guarantee the win. Not this year. Too many problems. Coordinators, offensive line, defensive line. Hutchinson not even showing up. He shouldn't be out there. He clearly is favoring his leg. There's no passion. There's no drive. He's worried about the injury, as he should be. He's not ready to play football. Yeah, well, let's put him out there anyway. Maybe he'll get hurt again. And then we can use that as the excuse why we don't make the playoffs. Total of 47 is interesting. Well, do we think Chicago has a very good defense normally? It was 17-6 going into the fourth quarter. I don't know what happened in the fourth quarter. I assume the Bears got tired because they hadn't played, and they didn't play preseason. So we'll see. I think Chicago gives them a game. I don't know. I can't trust Detroit right now, but we'll see. I don't want to take too much out of the Green Bay game. But can Chicago win the game? I don't know which Detroit team's showing up. The one that showed up against Green Bay, they can win. If they bring on a different team, then Detroit can win. So it's tough. Dallas and the Giants. Dallas is probably an E team, an even team. Prescott to CeeDee Lamb, they can generate points. Their defense, The Giants, I don't know. They didn't show enough. Russell Wilson, Scatterboo they didn't run Scatterboo. He kept running the other guy who I don't know why. And Russell Wilson needs time with the offensive line to come into. That's 4 or 5 games. So I don't know what you really have there. This is a learn game. Cincinnati, they're an A team. Jacksonville is probably a W at best. Arizona, I don't know what they are. Carolina's definitely a Z team. There's no way Carolina's winning in Arizona. Lane 7. There's maybe you take 13 and they cover, but there's no way they're winning the game with Steve Young. Not a chance. Denver, Indy. Denver should win this game. It's a nice number for Denver. Philly, KC. KC's a live dog here. Very live dog. Is it revenge? I don't know. Can they beat them? It's a bad matchup for KC. But KC is a home dog. Look out. That's all I can say. This is a hole. This is not the Super Bowl. This is a game at Kansas City, week 2. Philly's looking at their rings, and KC's going, fuck, we lost. So I think you've got KC's attention, and that's why he's Mahomes. So we'll see. Minnesota, Atlanta. Minnesota, I don't know what they are. Atlanta's an A team for sure. Minnesota, I'm not sure if they're an A team. Minnesota, I didn't see enough of McCarthy. He looked pretty shitty, and then in the fourth quarter, the Bears got tired. And so then he was running around, and he was all mad. He was like, look at me. This is the NFL kid, not. So I don't know. Mostly it was him running around. So I don't know if Atlanta's going to let that. With the 2 studs, defensive end rookies they got, I don't think he's going to run around. Houston, Tampa, an A or an A- team. Houston, an under team, just a good defensive team. And San Diego, I'm not sure if they're an A team. Oakland's probably going to be an E team, or it depends on their defense. They can be a B team with a great defense. They look good. Beating Drake May doesn't really count, right? So I don't know. It's I think Oakland's a live dog against a team like San Diego. It's too much of a rivalry. They'll get my guy out there. Dave Casper Stabler will fumble and roll it to Casper, and he'll kick it in the end zone and land on it for the touchdown. That's Oakland, San Diego. So Is San Diego that much better? No. Herbert's okay. I don't mind. Geno Smith's okay. Gentry's the best running back on the field. Brock Bowers the best receiver on the field. You got the great defensive tackle Crosby. You got Chip Kelly. You got Coach Pete. You got a lot on Oakland now that makes them very competitive and keeps them in these games because you'll have smart coaching, not idiots coaching. You want to have the Bears coach and you want to have the Lions coach out there. I don't know why everybody thinks Dan Campbell is all that. He isn't. Now, I believe we covered my week 2 college. Again, I went 11-1. I'll just go through my winners. Now I got to go to week 2, don't I? That was week 1, 11-1. Week 2, 8-1. We'll just go through the games. Baylor SMU, I went over. You had Baylor's quarterback's unbelievable. I will bet on him as a dog. He should be the first quarterback. The best 3 quarterbacks in college are Sawyer Robertson, Baylor, Morton, Texas Tech, and Devin Dampier at Utah. That's it. Fuck these others. Arch Manning. Arch Manning isn't even close to any of these guys. You think Arch Manning, you want to waste your time? The Bears will probably take Arch Manning, right? This guy Robertson is unbelievable for Baylor. Morton at Texas Tech. Oh, they're only averaging 60 points a game with him. And this Devin Dampier, holy shit. What a player he is. And he's kind of Kyler Murray, but who can actually throw. He's very difficult to tackle, but he's pinpoint good quarterback, just as good. He's like a Mahomes, but he can run a little bit better. Those are your top 3 quarterbacks by a mile. Rocco Rex pretty good. I don't put Manning isn't in the top 10 of this class. You got to be kidding. The kid at Connecticut's good. The kid at Virginia from North Texas is very good. They're playing well. Illinois' quarterback, Altmaier, is very good. Virginia's is Morris from North Texas. UAB's got a good one. Texas State, UTSA, McCown, they put up 80 points last week. Kansas, I love this other Jalen Daniels. Missouri apparently has this great quarterback. I mean, Kansas has a good defense, right? He just lit them up, 42-31. Fortunately, we had 12, which I was a bit surprised the spread was that high, but thank you, God. All right, let's see. Baylor SMU over. They played a 93. We're over 58. Not bad. I do call Iowa State to beat Iowa, but I didn't play it. I did call Connecticut to cover against Syracuse, but I didn't play it. I did play Virginia, getting 9 to North Carolina State. They lose 35-31. I did call the over in the Illinois Duke game, but I didn't play it. I don't know why. I love that over because Mensah, Duke, they're got 548 yards a game. I have to see what the new number is. But Illinois with Altmaier is very good. So I think there's a few turnovers in the game. Indiana crushes Kennesaw State. Indiana ran it down their throat. 500 yards of offense. Utah State might not be too bad. They held A&M 44-22, but that's good against the thing. A&M's got this quarterback, Reed, just like the other guys, very shifty, but also can throw. Arkansas's got a quarterback like that also. The Navy beats UAB 38-24. I like the over in that game. I liked UAB getting 21. Didn't play it, but that doesn't mean I can't play them all. I'm sorry. Oregon, Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State's the Z team this year. They're terrible. They lose 69-3. And I'm not sure Dante Moore is all that or not. Got a phone. Hello? Yeah. I'm just in the middle of teaching. Can we do it in about an hour? Okay, I'll be here. I'll wait for you guys in an hour. Perfect. Thank you. So I have a TV here that doesn't work. It's a Roku TV, but they have all these channels, but we had to figure out how to use them, and it wasn't easy. So it was a pain in the ass. We went through like a back door to get the channels to use. Anyway, so there, I said, just give me an hour, and then I should be done in an hour. Although there's a lot of college to go through. Kansas, Missouri, that was our lock. That was our free play. Kansas getting 12.5. Shouldn't have been close. They were up 31-28 late in the game. Missouri scored. Kansas got held, and then Missouri, just trying to run out the clock, score 75-yard touchdown. Colorado 31-7 over Delaware. Let's see what else. Mississippi 27-20 over Kentucky. So you got to be careful on the road in the SEC. Ohio, West Virginia. Ohio wins 17-10 over West Virginia. West Virginia got 600 yards of offense against the high school team. And Ohio played Rutgers pretty good, 34-31, beats West Virginia. Keep an eye on Ohio in the MAC. That's why we look at the MAC. Clemson 27-16 over Troy. What the fuck? What was that? They couldn't beat Troy? Now you wonder how good Klubnik is. He threw a lot of touchdowns, but again, against Georgia, he didn't show up last year. And now here he is. He couldn't beat Troy. And Troy, where's their defense? Oh, I didn't put the defense in yet because it was just week one. Wisconsin does get a win, 42-10. South Florida, 18-16 over Florida. At what point are they for real? They're for real. They beat a good Boise team, and they beat a good Florida team at Florida. Not easy to win at Florida. 18-16. They got Miami this week. Let's see what that spread is. Miami 17-54 to South Florida. Miami with the 13 defense. South Florida's got an 11 defense. That's what wins. That's how you get your upsets. Let's see. Marshall, the worst team in the league, and UMass. Marshall loses to Missouri State 21-20, who got killed by USC. USC's my A team, that's for sure. They're my bitch. Houston 35-9 over Rice. Houston, outstanding team this year. Western Kentucky, Toledo. That's my only loser. I go 8-1. I see 7. I take 13. Western Kentucky can score. Western Kentucky's defense didn't show up. 45-21 Toledo. Probably a lot of defensive scores or kicked scores, but 45-21. Miami beats Kansas State 24-21. They switch quarterbacks. Army, they have a great coach. I don't know why he's still there. With all these, the Bears and the Lions, they need coaches. Grab this Army coach, Jesus. Tulane, South Alabama, 33-31. South Alabama shows they can play when they play a team like Tulane. Tulane's very good, A team. Let's see. North Carolina, 23. North Carolina's just an under team. No, Belichick never knew offense, but he's got a good defense. Surprising game here. LSU 23-7 over LTAC. I'm surprised by this. Bobby, what happened? Didn't you play, Bobby? The 23-7. I can't believe they only scored 23. So maybe they were flat from the Clemson game. Maybe it took a lot out. So we'll keep an eye on LSU Clemson this week. Mississippi State upsets Arizona State. Keep an eye on them. USC, they were my bitch. Lane only 27, I thought was a joke. My spread was 38. And USC wins 59-20, wins by 39. Who knows the lines better than me? And it was an easy one. I'm laying 21, and they win by 39. And USC, when they got a good quarterback, it's always the quarterback. When you have a good quarterback, Notre Dame struggled. They have a rookie. Ohio State's struggling with the rookie. Alabama's struggling with the rookie. So we'll see. Auburn 42-3. They got this quarterback from Oklahoma, Arnold, who's very good running, and Hugh Freeze. So look for them to be a very high-scoring team. Michigan, Oklahoma 24-13. Oklahoma Mateer was like a one-man show. He ran, he threw, no running attack, decent receivers. Michigan looked terrible. I'm not sold on this kid at all. He didn't really make any good passes. He didn't run at all. He mostly is a pocket passer, which Oklahoma just was too fast for him. So we got the win, getting 12 and a half. They lost by 11. But we got lucky on the 11s. On the 12s. Kansas in this game. I think there was one other game that we're getting 12 and a half. They lost by 11. So Michigan, I don't know. Oklahoma, I'm not sure about them. This is a very mediocre Michigan team. The defense played okay. The offense, the kid ain't ready. Nebraska 68-0. Akron's a Z team. Vanderbilt, there you go. Daggio Pava, 44-20. They're down 17-7. They win 44-20. You got to love it. Pavio, what a great dog he is. And they cover as a dog every fucking week. They're still dog. Vegas hasn't figured out how good Pavia is. We have. He might be the number one quarterback. Oh, he's too small, though. Yeah, he can only put up 44 on Virginia Tech, but he's too small. I love those arguments. Alabama bounces back 73-0 to Lou Monroe, who's terrible. Vegas beats UCLA. UCLA's 30-23. BYU 27-3 over Stanford. Look for BYU. Great defense. Quarterback's a freshman. That's their problem. So they're pretty much an under team. Washington State beats San Diego State 36-13. And Hawaii 37-20 to Sam Houston. So I go 8-1. My only loser was the Western Kentucky Toledo getting 13 in Western Kentucky. I love that game. But the only lock was Kansas plus 12.5. I thought the spread was too high, and I was right. Kansas should have won the game. They were up 31-28 late in the fourth quarter. But all of a sudden, Missouri has a quarterback. So Missouri's one of our bitches now. So our bitches are Vanderbilt, Virginia, Houston, USC, Washington. We'll go through the complete list as I see them, but those are our bitches. Those are teams that we just want to bet. And if they're dogs, we love it. Give me Washington, Penn State, USC, Penn State. I'm taking Washington and USC. If they play and they're the dog, those will be heavy locks. All right. So this is yesterday's lines. NC State 754 to Wake. NC State's an E team. Wake's a B team. Colorado, Houston. Houston is laying 5-43. Houston is one of our bitches this year. Look out for them. Colorado, they played three quarterbacks. The third one finally did something in the game against Delaware. They lost to Georgia Tech, and here comes Houston at Houston. Yeah, good luck, Prime. Unless Prime's playing, they're in trouble. Arizona 154 to Kansas State. Kansas State lost to Army, should have lost to North Dakota, lost to Iowa. They're not very good this year, but neither is Arizona. We'll see with the new coach. That's going to take a little bit. UCLA 16 over New Mexico State 52. UCLA, I don't know, but they get a break with New Mexico. They should beat them. Alabama 21-48 to Wisconsin. I don't know. They have Florida State nightmares. We'll see. This will be a good game. Wisconsin with a good defense. They have a 5 defense, which is skewed because they play a high school team and a regular. And then it's an average. So if they give up 10, and now it's 5. Buffalo against Kent. Kent's our first Z team. Buffalo 22-50. Kent with a whopping 147 yards of offense a game. Buffalo 22-50. We'll see if Buffalo's got the offense to murder them. Oregon, the A team, goes to Northwestern, the under team. Oregon's all of a sudden got an 8 defense. I'm not buying yet. Total on the game's 52. Oregon at home and Oregon on the road are different. They got to fly to Chicago in the time zone. We will see. But 28 is a little bit of a big number here. If it was at Oregon, it'd be easy. Michigan 28-43 to Central. Central went to San Jose State okay, but last week they didn't show up. And who did they lose to last week? They got killed. Pitt beat them 45-17. And Michigan, I don't know. Michigan never does that. They'll find a way to stumble around and keep the game close. Total of 43. Central with the 29 defense. See, Central had a good San Jose State, but now you see how bad San Jose State is. Michigan under 20. Michigan 370-211. Not a big offense. The quarterback, I don't really either they're not opening up or he's just not that good at reading. Central is a bad team, but that's a big number, Michigan. Oklahoma 25-52 to Temple. Ordinarily, this would be I'm going to lock Oklahoma. No, not this year. They both have 8 defenses, although Temple has played a lot easier competition. Oklahoma did shut down Michigan. Temple's been scoring 471 a game, Oklahoma 450. I think Temple's a live dog here, especially since Oklahoma is on the road and played Michigan. Temple's salivating over this game, and Oklahoma could care less. And just playing Michigan, they've got to be flat in this game. So I don't know if I have the balls to take Temple here, but I think I should have the balls to take them. Clemson 552 to my Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech in my stats has another quarterback besides Haynes King. I don't know what's going on, if he's injured or they just found another guy, but I hate to believe Haynes. Let's check and see if he's injured. But Georgia's a very live dog. Georgia Tech, very live dog here. They play Georgia every year, and at Georgia Tech easily could upset them here. And I don't think it'd be an upset. I think Georgia Tech's the better team. 645 yards of offense, Clemson 289. Granted, Clemson played LSU, but not last week. They played like nobody and didn't do shit. Klubenek, Georgia Tech. Now, Georgia Tech's very live in this game. Auburn, 25-53 to South Alabama. South Alabama, pretty good over team. Auburn, we know they're going to score a lot. Total of 53, seems low. UConn and Old D. UConn's an A team, averaging a ton, like 40 points a game, 456 yards. This is not a Z team. They have a quarterback. Old D, an E team, 24 defense, 400 yards. I like UConn there. North Texas, Washington State. North Texas 5.5, 52, 430 yards a game. The great coach, so they all have a good offense. 15 defense, 12. I would prefer North Texas as the dog in this game, so I don't know if I like Washington State and the dog. SMU, Missouri State, SMU laying 28-62. Hard to have a good defense after playing Baylor, but I don't know. We got to see more of Missouri State. Oregon State, Texas Tech. Texas Tech 24-62. Oregon State with the 35 defense. They were an over team. Look out for Texas Tech putting up another 60 here. Georgia, Tennessee, game of the day. Georgia 4.5 and 50, both A teams. Georgia with the 6 defense, Tennessee with the 21. Gave up some points to Stanford. This is a game Georgia wins because they're Georgia. They play the tough D, and the tough D always wins these type of games. They can run a little bit. They're still missing that superstar running back. And then the quarterback he's running a little too, showing signs. Tennessee with Joey Aguilar. It's at Tennessee. How much time is Joey Aguilar going to have to throw against Georgia? because that's why they win. They put pressure on the quarterback. He goes back to pass, and the linebacker's in his face by the time he turns around. I don't know. Hard to bet against Georgia. Here's my bitch game. This is our free game. USC 21-58 to Purdue. And we are making USC our bitch. USC's back because they got a quarterback. Miller Moss sucked. Caleb sucked. Now they got Maivia. And they're only 21 to Purdue. Purdue's not good. Total of 58, 625 on for USC in 2 games. Missouri State, who beat Marshall, so they're really not that bad. And then last week, USC pounded Georgia Southern, who's not that good, 59-20. They go to Purdue. I don't think that's going to matter. Purdue. What was Purdue last week? Purdue. Where be you, Purdue? I know you played. You can only hide from me for so long, Purdue. They must have played a high school team. Yeah, I don't see them. Yeah, I don't know. So obviously they played a weak team and they beat them. Where am I? Because they have an 8 defense, but after USC gets done with them, it won't be an 8. Yeah, USC's got to travel to Indiana. It's not a full all the way to the East Coast. 625, Purdue 394. So Purdue, you're laying 15. Take USC, free pick. So your free pick USC, your free pro pick is something else. Who did we free this? Cincinnati at home to Jacksonville. All right. Pitt, West Virginia. This is a rivalry game. Be careful here. West Virginia was terrible last week. Pitt was good. Pitt with the better quarterback. I don't know. I'd rather have Pitt as the dog. Iowa State, Arkansas State, Iowa State 21-55. They could be a little flat after beating Iowa. Be careful. Lou Lafayette against Missouri. Missouri's also my new bitch. Laying 24. Lou Lafayette's an under team, 12 defense, 320 yards a game. Missouri 550. You just beat Kansas 42-31. I don't think they'll be flat, but look for Missouri here. Only laying 8. Anything under 20. The way their quarterback looks and the way they handled Kansas. Kansas had a very good defense, so I'm just shocked they put up it was really 35-31 is what it should have been. Texas and UTEP, Texas 41. I don't buy that with Arch Manning, although UTEP is pretty bad. South Florida against Miami. Miami laying 17-54. Where in the world did this line come from? You're laying 17 to a team that just won at Florida and beat Boise, and you want to give them 17 points. Man, somebody up there likes us. Miami, 400 yards of offense. South Florida, 359. I don't see South Florida laying down. Okay, yeah, they beat Florida. They're going to be pumped, but I don't buy that. Let's get to some others. All right. Interesting game. App State 1.5, 52 to Southern Miss. Southern Miss, as we know, was renamed Marshall, but App State's pretty good this year. So this is a tough game. We got to see this. Southern Miss could be a live home dog, but I don't know if they're ready yet. App State's got 527 in offense, and Southern Miss only 327. So I think App State wins the game, even though I like Southern Miss. I don't know how long it takes to fully implement Marshall football. Ole Miss, 8-62 to Arkansas. Great game here. 2 good quarterbacks. Arkansas with a 10 defense, but they played Arkansas State, who is a Sun Belt team. And Ole Miss struggled with Kentucky. What else is new? Both have about 540 yards. Arkansas, I think they can easily get the win here, and they're getting 8 up to 14. Illinois, another bitch of ours, minus 28. 11 defense. Western Michigan, the W, they got killed by Michigan State. 28 defense, 188 yards, and we getting 423 for Illinois, who just buried Duke. I heard one guy say, "Oh, they'll be flat after beating Duke." You're not flat when you're at home as a favorite. You're not flat. Virginia Tech 7 over Old E and 50. Virginia Tech just got killed by our Vandy, so I don't know. Ohio State 32-53 to Ohio, who just beat West Virginia, who has no quarterback, who beat Grambling 70-0. Not a very good team. Ohio State 392 a game, which I have to question, and then Ohio 435, which I don't have to question. 22 defense, Ohio. Ohio State, I'm going to say 7 because I can't count last week's game, so I'm going to give them the Texas score against a terrible Arch Manning. Ohio is a very live dog here, minus 32. Is that because they beat Grambling 70-0? You're laying 32. Ohio just beat West Virginia, who averaged 700 or 600 yards a game on in total yards. 17-10, they beat them, right? Yeah, Ohio 17, West Virginia 10. So they're holding this team that gets 600 yards of offense to 10 points. And you want to give me 38 points in Ohio. Thank you. All I can say is I got to love Vegas. They're so bad. It must be analytics doing this. Notre Dame, big game, 748 to Texas A&M. 27 defense for Notre Dame. Struggled against Miami. A&M, 23. Beat my UTSA, which anytime that happens, that's a good win if you can beat UTSA. I don't know. Notre Dame won at A&M last year in a close one. 314 yards, Notre Dame, A&M. I can't with Carr, the quarterback, even though he's Lloyd Carr's grandson. Can we see the mother more? I think she should be on the screen the whole game and not the game. Let's not watch the game. 748. Notre Dame just doesn't have the offense with this new quarterback. So I'm not sure. I would struggle to take Notre Dame, even though it's touchdown Jesus and everything like that. Another big game, LSU 10-50 to Florida. Florida, you just lost to South Florida. You got Bobby and LSU. Bobby's probably going to go to the game. He'll probably lead the band out on the field. He'll be the guy with the big stick leading them on. LSU 10. They got an 8 defense, killed Clemson. Florida is a 9 defense because they played a high school team first week. 338 for Florida, which is pretty weak. LSU 352. I like LSU at home here. Let's see. Kentucky minus 25, 46 to Eastern. Eastern's actually an over team. I know it gets confusing. Western, Central, Eastern. Eastern's the over team. Western's the weak team, and Central's also the weak team. Kentucky, off of a loss, look for them to play better. 313. The problem is their quarterback. They never have a good one. Iowa 34-44 to UMass, the Z team, 35 defense. Iowa. Oh, I missed Iowa's defense. Well, let's say it's 20 something, whatever Iowa State beat them with, 20. Iowa State's an under team. Only 284 yards of offense. UMass. See, here's where it's hard. Iowa's not. This is USC being an easy bet because they're going to score 70 points. Iowa's going to be lucky to get 35, even though it's UMass, but they are off the loss. Look for Iowa here to come on with a good effort. So we're looking for motivation, and when you lose, you're motivated to win. LTAC 10, New Mexico State 42. They're both under teams. Vanderbilt, South Carolina. Can you believe they're giving us Daggio as a dog again? Thank you. It's so happy. South Carolina 647 to Vandy. Go Vandy, go Dagia. I mean, this is insane. I mean, we keep getting them with like 11, 12 points. Nobody is understanding how good Daggio is. It's just it's our little secret, but let's keep stacking the gold and the silver. Navy 1453 to Tulsa. Go Navy, beat Army. They look very good this year. They barely beat, I think it was UAB. UAB is a good offensive team. Tulsa's a B team, 14 defense. Navy getting 500 yards a game. Tulsa 361. Tulane and Duke, very good game. Tulane 3-53. Duke 482. Tulane 400. Duke 31. Tulane's the better team here, and they're at home. Much better defense. Duke has a good quarterback in Mensah from Tulane, I believe. So he will know their team. I don't know. Duke could be a live dog. They're going to score. My fourth pitch in this run, Utah minus 21 to Wyoming. Oh, my God. Devin Dampier. Write that name down. The number one pick in the draft, the best quarterback. By a mile over Arch who? You've got to be kidding. They're laying 21. Wow. To Wyoming, who lost like 10-0 to somebody. What was it? Week 1. Wyoming beat Akron 10-0. Wyoming got killed, I think, last week. Where's Wyoming? Where's my bitch? I think they played a high school team. I don't know. What did they beat? Akron, I said. Yeah, they beat Akron. Let's see what Akron is now. Akron is, I believe, a Z team, if I have them. No, they're not playing. I think Akron's a Z or a W. Oh, here they are. They're playing UAB. They're a Z team with the 39 defense, 200 yards of offense, and Wyoming beat them 10-0. Okay, enough said. We'll go through the Z teams. So Utah against a very weak Wyoming and only laying 21. Gifts from the gods. What can I say? UAB, an over team, 10-52 to Akron, the Z team, 39 defense. UAB with the 40 defense. The difference is UAB gets 458 a game, Akron 200. With 39 defense, and Wyoming put up 10 on them. Okay. Well, Air Force and Utah State, Air Force and A team, always a good coach, 13 defense. Utah State, an E team with the 30 defense, 300 yards offense, Utah State, and 379 for the Air Force. Only laying 3.5. Stanford, a W team, and BC. BC's laying 10. They're an over team, 26. Wyoming, a W team with a 25 defense, 411 for BC. Almost beat Michigan State. Stanford, 224. Stanford is definitely the bitch in the big, or they're actually in the ACC, the Pac-10 ACC. They're terrible. I don't know. It's tough for BC to go from Boston to California and play the game. So that's where you got to be careful in these strange conferences. Minnesota and Cal, 2 A teams. Minnesota with a 5 defense, Cal with a 9. Well, we know those aren't real. 4. They both have about 410 yards of offense. In our last game, Texas State, explosive Texas State against Arizona State. Arizona State, a B team, 22 defense. Texas State at 30 to 530 yards for Texas State. We know they are always explosive. Arizona State 400. They lost Scatterwood, but Sam Levitt is still their quarterback. They're laying 14. It all comes down to the matchups, right? I've seen at least 10 games here that I should have at least 3 locks that I'm drooling over. And in the pros is a tough week, right? So I go 10-2. So I like 12 games in the pros week 1. And here I don't know if I like 3 or 4 games. As I study them more and I put in more stats and I start looking at the quarterbacks, I'll get a better view. It always is like this in the pros. You start looking at them. I don't like any, and then by the end, after I'm done studying, I go, yeah, I found 7 games I could play. So a lot of it is we're looking at injury. We're tempted. Baltimore, we're staying way away from. We don't know what to do Thursday night. We obviously can't play Miami. Detroit, I don't know. Dallas, I don't know. Arizona, Carolina, Denver at Indy, Philly, KC. Do you really want to play KC as a home dog? You want to, but are you really going to bet money on it? That's the problem with that, because you hate fucking with Alabama and you hate fucking with Georgia, and you don't want to bet on Philadelphia. Minnesota, Atlanta, I don't know. Do we know J.J. McCarthy had a couple of good runs in the game? Is he going to do that against those 2 stud defensive ends if they're playing them? They held Tampa down, as I knew. That was an obvious. Atlanta home dog with Penix should have been favored in the game. Here you got Atlanta as a road dog to Minnesota. I'm not saying they should be favored here, but they're a very live dog every week. Houston over Tampa, that's a pick 'em. And San Diego, Oakland. Oakland can play with anybody. You got guys like Brock Bauer and Gentry. You can play with anybody. And you got Coach Pete, and you got Chip Kelly, Brian Kelly, Chip Kelly. You got those people. You're a very live dog every week. Even KC, Denver, San Diego. San Diego's a 4-point favorite, really. Not with Harbaugh coaching. Okay, my friends, that is football. So a huge start. I go 11-1, 8-1. I'm 19-2 in college, 10-2 in the pros. You're not supposed to do this in the first weeks of that, because you don't know enough. But I know enough to, it was Kansas. It was very good teams we were betting on. And now we're learning a little bit more. We've discovered a few more good teams that we want to bet. That's what we're looking at. But what we do so well is we find Utah. We find all of a sudden Virginia, Baylor over because of the quarterback. Now, that's not a new discovery. We knew he was good. But you keep seeing the Missouri guy. All of a sudden, Missouri's got a quarterback. So we catch that quickly, and Vegas doesn't understand that. So Vegas is just looking at the AI, which is why I love AI for this reason. They'll give us terrible lines that we can take advantage of it. But the analytics don't match to what you said, because you're not understanding Missouri's new quarterback or how good Kansas is, or Vanderbilt. Are apparently not close to Vanderbilt and Georgia Tech, or they still think Clemson's good. They lost at home to LSU, and then they barely beat, Troy. And now you got a favorite over Georgia Tech? Yeah, who's making these lines? What idiot is that? So that's what you have. So let's check our gold again. So I'm at the lake. I'm going to go sit out and walk at the lake. If I go out my door, all these ducks come up. And I yell at them, go fuck off. They all want food. I'm not giving them food. I got to eat. Come on. Let's check our gold. Back to 36.46. And what's good is it's 36.46. It's not 35 anymore. It's not 34 anymore. So if you have 100 ounces of gold and it was sitting at 33.60 for 3 months, you've just made $300 per ounce. If you have 100 ounces, you just made $30,000. But you still have 100 ounces, so you don't realize they're worth more. Silver 40.86. Again, surprised we're not at a higher amount. Oh, the roofing review of a house on 11 Mile Road is done. I don't have a house, and it's not on 11 Mile Road. All right, so 36.46 after our 10 o'clock drop took it from 36.65 down to 36.30. So it went down $30 for absolutely no reason. You have to understand this is options only. Nobody is selling an ounce of gold or silver. Nobody. Let's see if we have one Egon to share with us. I've been catching him lately. There's one thing he misses. This is a short one. Let's look at this one.
Gold moves in cycles or in phases. It never goes straight up without correction, and it never goes straight down either, for the simple reasons that measured in paper money, gold is always going up over time, because governments and central banks will continue their destruction of paper money. They have to do that in order to buy votes and to survive in power. And this is why, you have a guarantee from central banks and from governments that gold will always be supported by them, by the fact that they actually destroy the value of paper money. In 1971, I was there working in a bank in Switzerland, and we saw, of course, Nixon closing the gold window on the 15th of August, 1971. And obviously, he said that it was just a temporary measure to protect the fall of the dollar. And he told people that, or the investors, the American people, he told that dollar in your pocket will be worth the same in the future also. Little did he understand that at the time when he closed the gold window, gold was $35 an ounce. And today, gold is almost $3,500 an ounce, which means that measured in dollars, gold has gone up 100 times. Or if you turn it around, the value of the dollar measured in gold has gone down 99%. So Nixon was totally wrong. By closing the gold window, the money supply exploded in the 1970s. I remember it well. Inflation was high. I was living in the UK. Interest rates were near 20%. My first mortgage was 21%. So the gold backing of currencies gave some discipline to the monetary system. That was totally taken away by Nixon's action. And that's why we saw this massive rise of gold, about almost 25 times, from $35 to $850 January 1980. Then, as gold would do, it's paused at 1980, $850, because it had gone up 25 times. But the correction thereafter was quite long. It was from 1980 to virtually 2000. So it was 20 years. So gold went not just sideways, it went down at the low in 1999 to $250. But remember, it started at $35, so we're still well up from the $35 in 1971. The period of the early 1980s to 1990s and just the beginning of the 2000s, it was a period when stocks grew strongly, and therefore most investments went into stocks, and inflation was relatively low.
All right, so Egon just made 3 errors. Gold went down because of options, because they wanted the price down, not because of the free market. That's mistake number one. Number two, inflation's always high because they're printing the money. So they keep printing and they keep printing. Inflation is, he thinks it's cost. It's not prices. It's the money is the inflation, and it did not go down. It can't go down because once you start printing, you have to print more and more and more, which means higher and higher inflation. So he doesn't get that. He says, well, it was 35 and it went up to 900 and then it went back down to 200 or 300. That's because of price fixing, not because of market demand. It didn't go down. It never goes down because people are selling it. It goes down because they're running these stupid options. This is the point he doesn't get. He keeps missing this. He doesn't quite get. Sometimes he says it's the money supply, but then here he just makes this incredible blunder that it's saying, "Oh, well, look, inflation was stable." No, it isn't. It's never stable because it's coming from the government. They don't want to admit they're fucking everybody over. So no, the inflation is always high. It's just never told properly. And gold went to 800 and then it got shorted down. It was price fixed down. It didn't go down because people didn't want it or we were all buying stocks, so we didn't buy gold. That's a bunch of horseshit. Nobody's selling their gold because you can't get a free market on it. I think we're finally getting to the free market, but since you can't get the free market, what are you supposed to do with it? So that's the problem. So he just doesn't get it. He doesn't get what inflation is. He doesn't get that the gold price is price fixed by COMEX, JP Morgan, and therefore the price going down is because of the price fixing, not because people are buying stocks.
That's why stock market was more interesting than gold, and gold had this long correction. But as gold will always do, because it always goes up over time, at $250 an ounce in 99, then it reversed. Then most central banks had sold a big part of their gold holdings. This is typical for a government. They sell their most valuable asset at the bottom of the market. This is when we went in and told investors that now we buy gold, not for investment or for speculation, but primarily for wealth preservation. But we also believe that gold was undervalued and underloved, so there would be also wealth enhancement. So we bought at $300 and we haven't looked back since. We still believe at just under $3,500 today, as I said, 100 times higher than 1971. We think gold is undervalued and will continue its rise to multiple levels of where it is today. That means that you are not going to see, in our view, the corrections that everybody waits for now and think that gold is overbought. This is not the normal gold market. This is a total reassessment of money and paper money. Now investors are realizing that gold is the only money that has ever survived. It's nature's money. And now is the time, especially with the BRICS countries and the central banks investing heavily into gold and will continue for many years to come. This is what will support gold. And this is why we have a permanent revaluation of gold that is dynamic. That means it's not going to be stopped at a certain level. It will continue for many, many years to come. This is why I wouldn't be worried about correction, and I wouldn't wait for a correction. I think it's more likely that we will see an acceleration in the next few months in both gold and in the silver price. So it's definitely not too late to jump on the gold wagon, as we say in our articles now, because we will see most probably an acceleration of the gold price.
Well, that's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so. So again, he doesn't get it. That's why I interrupted in the middle because I didn't want to lose the point. But it didn't go down because people were selling it or not buying it. But the reason it's going up now like it is because they're blowing up COMEX because BRICS is buying all the gold. And they've basically eliminated the gold from COMEX and the LBMA, London. And so because both those have no gold, they can't play the game. They can't do their shorts because the people buying the option on the other end want delivery. So if you short, then I can buy, and I'm going to buy. I'm going to want delivery. So you got to give me gold if you short. So now they're not shorting as much as you can see. This just keeps going. I don't know what happened at 10 o'clock, why the U.S. is shorting, and they got to cover it, and then the price shoots right back up. So I don't know, but it blew 3,400 to 3,500 and blew through 3,500 to 3,600. And most of it is because the U.S. needs gold to cover because Basel III said you had to. And so now here we shot up 36. We'll see how quickly we get through 37. And then with the goal of 4,500 being our next target, but our next target is 4,000 and then 4,500. And it'll just keep going because nobody in their right mind is selling. Because if you sell, I have my friend, he says to me, "Oh, they're going to get rid of paper money." And I says, "Oh yeah, well, there's a lot of mafias that sell drugs and prostitution that deal in cash. And what are you going to use credit card to buy your drugs? Really? You're going to go to the drug guy and I want to buy a shipload of cocaine, and they're going to, well, I need credit card for that. They're never getting rid of dollars. Never, never, ever. Bitcoin's already been tried to do it for the drugs, but they solved that and they now can see your transactions. So you're not using Bitcoin to buy the cocaine. So now you need dollars that are not traceable. So they'll never get rid of it because, as we know, they're the ones running the banks or the mafia. Don't kid yourself. That's the ones in charge. J.P. Morgan, Jamie Dimon's running a mafia. So cities, all the groups, USBS, the other bullion banks, Novus Bank. Look at all the gold guys that got arrested in our Burkina Faso by Ibrahim Tavari, where the like 9 gold CEOs he arrested right on the spot, trying to get out of their private jets, and he said, "Nope, you're going to jail for life." Because you stole from us and you didn't report taxes properly. So you didn't pay taxes. So you owe us billions of dollars that you took out in gold that you didn't report. So he had them all arrested. This guy's beautiful. I love it. So you got Africa going on a gold standard, BRICS, of course. The demand's huge for gold, and therefore we can just sit back and watch. And that's all you got to do. Yeah, you might make money in stocks in the short run, but do you know when it's going to crash? And you want to stay in the stock market knowing it's going to crash, knowing that the dollars aren't real. They're just printed. You're just printing paper, but it's not backed by anything. And this is the biggest problem people just don't understand. This is the biggest problem. The dollar's not worth anything, but people don't. Oh, it says 100 on it, so it must be worth 100. Okay, what will the 100 buy you at the grocery store? Like 5 items? Well, I can buy these 2 steaks and tuna fish, and there goes my $100. I mean, that's about what you have, right? So just be careful with it. You're playing huge risk. Anything in dollars, you want to be in. You don't want to be in dollars. You want to be in gold and silver. Gold and silver has been around all these years, as he says, because you can't print it. I don't know nature's money. It's because it's not printable. It's got to be gold. Metal has to be gold. You can't use copper and say, hey, it's gold. Now they can print dollars and say it's dollars, but you can't print gold. So that's why gold will never lose value, because it can't, because you won't have the inflation that you do in the dollar. So you can't print gold. Therefore, the supply can't run up. Yeah, they find a mine every once in a while, which takes 10 years to mine it. But there's so much demand that even if you get 10 tons out of the ground, it's nothing. So keep that in your mind. You can't inflate or print gold and silver like you can the dollar, which is not backed by anything, or Bitcoin, or real estate trusts, or bonds. They're not backed by anything. So even if you make $1 million in the stock market, you're still in monopoly money. You have to, it only works if you sell it and then go buy gold and silver with it. If you don't do that, you didn't make a dime. It's not worth anything. Anyway, so that's about it. Any questions, comments? I got the guy with the TV soon, and hopefully they can figure out what the fuck it is. I mean, this is a new TV, and apparently they didn't set it up. I'm just shocked. I mean, what, did it just come in yesterday or something? So they got a new TV for me. Anyway, I'll go to the beach after I get the TV, and then there's actually people on the beach. Pretty nice. Let me show you the beach. I think I can show it to you. I don't know if you can see it. There you go. There's the beach. There's the chairs. That's Lake Michigan, one of the Great Lakes. And that's where I'm headed to. So I'm just going to walk and relax on it. And I'm just up here but I got a lot of football to do, so it's keeping me busy. And that's about it. So www.teaserking.com. I'm hotter than shit in football. I got it pretty well figured out. We'll see about the pros this week, but I'm sure I will figure it out as I do it. Last look at gold, 36.45, silver 40.86. Let's look for silver to get over 41 again, and gold. So I don't know why they're holding silver. They're holding it at 32, then 35, then 38, then 39. It breaks 40, it breaks 41. They're still fucking around with it. Gold 36.44. Today's what, Tuesday? We could see 38 by Friday, but let's say 37 by Friday. It's been going up $50, $60. It takes a break. I have no idea why. It's not like they stopped buying it. All I can say is if you can't afford an ounce, because it's going to cost you 30, it's going to cost you 110 over. So it's going to cost you 37.54 for an ounce of gold. So just be careful. All right, that's about it. www.teaserking.com. Your free picks, again, Cincinnati over Jacksonville, and USC laying 21 down to 15 against Purdue. Let's see how bad Purdue is. I mean, Purdue's an E team. The defense is an 8, 394, but again, they played a minor, high school team last week. Let's see what Purdue did before. They beat like a high school team. They beat Ball State 31-0. And then last week was, I think, a high school team. Let's see, Purdue. Yeah, it must have been a high school team. High school. Yeah, so Ball State. And if we look at Ball State, I don't know, I can check. So their claim is the 31-0 over Ball State, and we look at Ball State. And Ball State's roughly a Z team. They've scored 1 point and given up 36. Kelly 0-0, sacked 10 times, 79 yards. They got 136 yards. So that's who mighty Purdue beat. And we've seen USC put up 70 points against Missouri State, who beat Marshall, who's not great, and then win last week. So Georgia Southern, who's pretty weak too. Anyway, but that's what we've got. Hey, David. So that's it. That's class. Have a good day. I'm going to study some football pros. College, I pretty much, so it's bringing in the stats, analyzing the quarterbacks, analyzing the offense and the defense. And that's what I'm looking for, balanced offenses and good quarterbacks. The Missouri guys looks very good. We already know Daggio, superstar. And now we've got the guy at Baylor is the superstar. But we'll see, the difference is Baylor doesn't have a defense. You bet them over. So far, we're 2-0 betting them over. Where other teams have a good quarterback but a good defense. And so they're A teams. So that's the difference. Anyway, what do I think? Watch the video. That's all I can say. I already went through it. All right, www.teaserking.com. I am red fucking hot, so come on board, and then you can buy some more gold and silver. Have a nice day, everybody.